Over the course of 3 days, 49 teams made up of America's best Rangers traveled on foot for more than 60 miles. Over land, through the air, and in the water, carrying nearly 80 pounds of gear on their back. With less than 5 hours sleep, these Rangers pushed their minds and bodies to the breaking point to prove that they are the best of the best.
The enemy is constantly evolving. So for us to keep our edge, to stay sharp, it's important for us to continue to challenge ourselves, both mentally and physically, in order to keep that standard high.
They come from units across the world to compete, as far away as the deserts of Iraq, knowing the challenge is not for the faint of heart.
You can be the strongest person in the world, but if you can't hack it mentally, your body's just not going to perform. But I think they both go hand in hand. You got to be strong in both, inside and out.
To be chosen is an honor. To finish is an accomplishment. To win, incomparable.
It really is one of the most horrible things I've ever done in my life, and happy to be here doing it one more time.
To live by the Ranger Creed is their mission.
You live the Ranger Creed pretty much throughout the competition. You got to dig deep down inside yourself to see what you got and then push even farther.
To move further, faster, and fight harder than any other soldier. This is the 26th annual 2009 Lieutenant General David E. Grange Jr. Best Ranger Competition. May 8th, 2009, 0600 hours, Orion Field, Camp Darby. 49 Ranger teams are gearing up for the event that will kick off the next 60 hours, an unknown distance buddy run over varied terrain. Each of the 24 events the Rangers will face during the competition are weighted according to their level of difficulty. This is a level 1 event, but still no walk in the park. For this event, the Rangers are in full uniform, complete with body armor, and even though the temperature has not yet made it past the 70s, humidity is already well above that. Already the competition has proven too tough, as one team has dropped out after suffering a heat casualty. The actual distance for the run was 4 miles, but the Rangers didn't know this, making it difficult to establish a good pace.
Basically, if you don't know the distance, you're going to have to pace yourself a different way. If you know it's a 2-mile run, you know that you can run harder than you can if it's a 5-mile run. So if you don't know what it is, you're going to have to figure out the best pace that you can sustain for a long distance.
The Buddy Run established the movement order for the day's events. First through the finish line was Team 8, Staff Sergeant Luke McDowell and Brandon Farmer representing the 75th Ranger Regiment.
The only bad thing is being first in the chute for everything else. So as soon as we were done with the Buddy Run, we hopped right into the Darby Queen obstacle course. Probably the toughest obstacle course I've ever done.
3 minutes later.
With 26 separate obstacles over a distance of nearly 2 miles of wooded and uneven terrain, the Darby Queen is no pretty lady. This event is historic to the competition, and it's a smoker, testing the competitor's strength, agility, and endurance. Rangers are timed and must tackle each obstacle on the course to continue on.
There are quite a few tough obstacles. The second obstacle they'll come to is called the Dirty Name, and it's quite difficult. It's one of the only obstacles that a lot of people can't complete. You have to jump up on a log. It's a lot harder than it looks. Then you have to get up on top of that log, and from that one jump to another log.
The key to the course, honestly, is being smooth on the obstacles. You know, I mean, and that's where the quick guys are. They're smooth, and they move fast between obstacles.
As a testament to her brutality, the Darby Queen claimed responsibility for 3 more teams pulling out of the Best Ranger competition because of injuries suffered at her hands. Former Best Ranger competition winners of Team 22 from the United States Army Special Operations Command, Master Sergeants Daniel Jenkins and Walter Zakowski, dominated the field to finish with the fastest time on the Darby Queen. The third scheduled event was a spot jump, where Rangers were to execute a static line parachute insertion and attempt to land within a 35-meter target in the middle of the drop zone. The event was canceled due to low cloud cover. Competitors were dropped off at the landing zone, given a litter, and had to transport all of their gear to an assembly area.
They'll run to a circle where they're originally supposed to land, pick up a litter. Then they carry the litter with all their equipment here to the inspection area. They get inspected, and then they move off to the next event.
If something is missing, points are deducted. The next event is another buddy run. Rangers will grab their gear and run from the drop zone to the Malone Range Complex for a series of shooting events that will test them on their ability and accuracy with several types of weapons. First up, the M249 Squad Automatic Weapon and the M240 Bravo Machine Gun. On the command go, one competitor will act as spotter and the other as shooter, firing at targets anywhere from 400 to 700 meters away, and from multiple firing positions. When the team moves from one weapon to the next, they switch. The spotter becomes the shooter, and the shooter becomes the spotter.
I think in any job you need to know your craft. In the case of our trade, you should know what particular weapon system would be appropriate for whatever mission or job you're applying it to.
Sharpshooters First Lieutenant Chris Migliaro and Sergeant First Class Jordan Martell took the top score in this event for the 4th Infantry Division. With the machine gun stress shoot complete, the Rangers now move on to squad combat scenarios with the M4, M203, and M9, engaging stationary targets at various distances. And drawing only 1 round of ammunition per target, it's got to be 1 shot, 1 kill.
They start with their primary weapon, which is their M4. They're designed to hit targets at various ranges, and then once they're out of the ammunition on both their primary weapons, they sling those and transition to their M9.
The M203 is a change from last year, forcing the Rangers to demonstrate their abilities on more than just their primary weapon. This event is timed, and it is one of the toughest shoots competitors will face throughout the competition. Even though the Rangers know their weapons, the extreme stress of the competition can produce mistakes, resulting in costly penalties in this event.
Some of the mistakes are not taking their time when they're shooting. We're designing this range so that it forces them to breathe and forces them to slow down and try and think about that while they're under pressure.
And to keep their heart rates elevated, Rangers will run to the 3rd range. All the targets competitors have engaged so far have been stationary. For the final range event of the day, the Rangers must engage moving targets from 50 to 300 meters with the M1 Garand, the first semi-automatic rifle in the Army's general inventory.
The M1 Garand is a World War II era weapon, no longer in the Army inventory, obviously, but it's one of those weapons that is possible to be found on the battlefield in the modern operating environment. So as a Ranger, they're expected to be able to pick up most any weapon and be able to put that weapon in operation in a combat environment, and that's what we're simulating here by using this weapon.
Taking this range for the 4th Infantry Division was Team 43, First Lieutenants Michael Luth and Thomas Halverson.
Being from a unit that's getting ready to deploy here shortly, we've both been doing a lot of training at the company, battalion, brigade level, all the way down at the unit level with weapon systems, with every single weapon system that you can imagine.
Leaving the Malone complex, teams will travel on foot to their next event. This time, they won't be running, but they will be moving through the woods with nothing more than their gear: a map, a compass, a protractor, and a few grid points. After coming in at the Animal Cemetery boat landing on post, the teams had rowed for more than 9 miles. Team 7, Collins and Malco, commanded the canoe event, racking up the points. Competitors then got a bit of rest before the final event, a 4-mile buddy run to Freedom Hall and the finish line. Crossing the final finish line first was Team 46, Captain Samuel Lynn and First Sergeant Robert Carter, representing the 5th Brigade, 2nd Infantry Division. Their first place finish in the buddy run put them firmly in 6th place in the overall competition. 3rd place finishers were Best Ranger first-timers, Team number 7, Sergeants Jesse Collins and Michael Malco, representing the 75th Ranger Regiment.
The atmosphere of this competition it's unlike anything I've ever done before. And it's during the competition you have so many start lines where the adrenaline starts pumping again. You're down for a day, and then next thing you know, you're in another start line with a mass start, and you're trying to beat somebody, trying to pull ahead of somebody, and it's adrenaline all over again. Finishing in 2nd place, representing the United States Army Special Operations Command, Team number 22, Master Sergeants Daniel Jenkins and Walter Zakowski.
Well, we knew from day one that we were neck and neck with the guys that ended up winning. And it was after they came in on land navigation and they had found a few more points than we did that we realized that they had enough points then that we wouldn't be able to catch them on day 3. And you're still going to do your best. You're still going to live the creed and give 100% and then some. And you're still going to conduct yourself as a professional.
And making Best Ranger history by winning all 3 major awards. The Ripito Award for the Foot March, the Leandri Award for Night Orienteering, and the overall competition, Sergeants First Class Blake Sims and Chad Stackpole from the 4th Ranger Training Battalion.
From 8A1, when we started the event, our goal was to go in there and just be in the top 5. We didn't plan on coming out here trying to win every event. We know that historically nobody, or in your natural abilities, nobody's going to be able to come out here and win this in every single event throughout the entire competition. Our goal was to be in the top 3 to 5% of every single event that we plan. And not that we're any better. We're the best for the next 364 days, but there's always going to be better. We were just the best in the field of competition this year.